Welcome all to this year's 2019 AGM for CASDA. This is a new experience for all of us, and we hope that it goes smoothly. These times are definitely unprecedented, and so for all of us, doing a virtual AGM is unprecedented as well. I would like to call the meeting to order formally. And ask that there's a motion to approve the agenda.
I so move.
Thank you, Mark. Second? Jill, thank you. Just one change to the agenda for those who have a previous printed copy. We will be moving number 5 and number 6, which related to the financial reports and the selection of an auditor, up before the election of directors. So with that change, are there any other changes that we need to be aware of? And we ask that the agenda is approved. Thank you. All approve? All right. I would like to draw our attention to the meeting minutes of the AGM on April 3rd, 2019, that was held in Ottawa. Minutes were circulated. Could I ask for a motion to approve the 2019 AGM meeting minutes?
I so move.
Thank you. Second.
Great.
Adrian? All in favor? Thank you. And Dave, I'll turn it over to you for the annual review of financial statements.
Sure. Thank you, Madam Chair. The audited financial statements were attached. I guess I just want to point out two things. The most important thing to most treasurers in an audited financial statement is the comment that company financial statements present fairly in all material respects the financial position of Canadian Autism Spectrum Disorders Alliance as of 1st, 2019, and the result of its operations and its cash flows for the year, then ended in accordance with Canadian accounting standards for nonprofit. Or it's a clean audit. We're in good financial position. It's been a very buddy. So I'll now make a motion. If there's any questions, you can bring them up after the second. The Board of Directors approved the reviewed 2019 financial statements at a meeting of the directors on April 29th, 2020 at the 2019 financial statements. Can we have a seconder, please?
I'll second. Sue?
Thank you,
In
Sue.
favor? In keeping with our practice, we have to appoint the auditors for next fiscal year. Motion is that Casey Levy Carter McLean be appointed the public accountant of the corporation to hold office next annual members meeting or until a successor is appointed at such remuneration as may be fixed by the directors, hereby authorized to fix such remuneration. We have a seconder, please.
Please.
Thank you. Loud roars.
Are there any questions?
Debbie, it's Amy. The voting polls have popped up, and because we reordered the agenda, the poll hasn't popped up in the same order. So just so that people out there know, once we finish these polls, the financial polls will pop up.
Okay.
And if we need to revisit them, we will.
Okay.
But the polls are out of order.
Okay. So right now we're working on poll number 5. if you just want those that are being broadcast to, if you want to select yes or no for the approval of the Casey, Levy, Carter, McLean as our auditors.
It's not, is it supposed to be allowing everybody to vote? Like I'm not able to click into it.
We're
I
not
can-
able to vote
Oh,
as
okay,
the
okay.
panelists.
Right. All right.
We can put
Oh.
our hand up.
Yeah,
Okay.
our vote is by,
Okay, I see. Yeah.
oh, I
Okay.
see, because I couldn't click into it.
Aha!
As
Now
I
we're-
said, this is interesting times for all of us.
We don't get 2 votes. Just realized that. So.
Okay, so now I'm in the right sphere.
Welcome, Nat.
I'm not living in the right city, but at least I'm in the right Zoomosphere. All right.
Okay. So with that, I am going to move us to the annual election of directors. And we circulated with the attached AGM materials, bios for the incoming directors. Brooke Pinsky, Cynthia Carroll, Kim Ward, Rebecca Kissinger, and Tanya McLeod. And I would call for a motion to bring Brooke, Cynthia, Kim, Rebecca, Tanya to the board and elect them as directors of the corporation.
I so move.
Second?
I'll second.
Jill, thank you. And we would ask that those we're broadcasting to use the poll for approval and those online to raise your hand for approval. Welcome to our new members. Okay, the next item of business is bylaw updates, and information was circulated again with the package. Just to give a quick brief overview of them, there are 3 updates that we proposed. The first relates specifically to membership, and it was a clarification of the language related to the 2 class of members we have, the first being organization members and the second being ally members. The second bylaw recommended change was to change to better reflect the importance of allied members, ensuring that there is a minimum of 5 director positions reserved for ally members. And the third bylaw recommendation is related to director terms, and that we increase to a maximum of 3 2-year terms. This will allow for the board to have a more balanced approach to onboarding and offboarding directors, as well as succession planning for officer positions. And with that, I call for a motion to approve the bylaws as circulated.
I make that motion.
Thank you, Denise.
I'll second.
Thank you, Sue. Are there any questions? With
Great
no
work by Amy. It's well appreciated as we keep tweaking these bylaws to make sure that our governance works more smoothly. So thank you, Amy.
Thank you. And with that, I will ask for approval. Okay, thank you. So I am going to move us on to the chair's report. This past year began with a high level of excitement around the direction of CASDA and the building momentum in our pursuit of a national autism strategy. The Canadian Autism Leadership Summit of 2019 brought this into full focus as our members and allies worked together to respond to and polish CASDA's Blueprint for National Autism Strategy, or NAS, as I will refer to it going forward. Together, we found language that clarified a way forward for us. The summit resulted in a set of documents that all CASDA members and allies could use to advance our advocacy to create a better Canada for autistic Canadians. We put this to good use during the fall 2019 election, and what a ride that was. Our members reached out to candidates across the country in all parties to make sure they knew just how important it was that autism and a NAS was on the agenda for the new government. To that end, we were successful in receiving endorsement from each federal party. They all pledged to support the development and implementation of a national autism strategy. And with the launch of the new parliament, the Prime Minister included specific language about the commitment and his expectations pertaining to a NAS in the mandate letters for two ministers, Patty Hajdu, the Minister of Health, and Carla Qualtrough, Minister of Employment, Workforce Development, and Disability Inclusion. This was truly historic. After 12 years of effort to bring the autism sector together to reach consensus on the need for a NAS and cohesion in our efforts to advocate with a loud and clear voice about what was needed and how the government could exercise their leadership to begin to address the needs of autistic Canadians, our collaboration moved this into reality. After a brief period of celebration and congratulations to all those who worked hard and tirelessly to get to this point, we began a new journey to get this done. If we thought we had worked hard here, we knew we would have to work harder to accelerate the momentum. Immediately after the election, the board began the important work of keeping the NAS on the federal radar. Building on the feedback from our work on the blueprint for a NAS, we developed a roadmap for action. Our goal is to provide Ministers Hajdu and Qualtrough with a plan for starting the work on a national autism strategy. This includes some quick wins and both medium and longer term actions. This new document, which can be found on the CASDA website, will guide a lot of the work we have ahead of us in the coming year. Our good fortune continued. We were fortunate to receive a grant from the federal government to support the building of CASDA's governance structure. Governance infrastructure, strategic planning, and enhance our communications capacity. Dr. Jonathan Lai joined us in the capacity of Director of Strategy and Operations. He jumped into the busy world of CASDA just in time for the election blitz, and guess what? He's still here after that experience. He also undertook the task of refining and operationalizing a strategic plan for CASDA. In the short time that John has been with us, he has developed a partnership with the Kids Brain Health Network to bring 5 research trainees to co-chair policy working groups with CASDA members to produce policy briefs on each of the areas highlighted in the blueprint, worked with the Disability Leadership Coalition and the Canadian Human Rights Commission on the monitoring of the CPRD implementation in Canada, worked on a CNIB-led United Nations Optional Protocol Awareness Project, submitted to the Disability Advisory Committee of the Disability Tax Credit Reform, delivered a webinar series giving the community an update on the NAS and related issues, increased the number of communications from CASDA and engagement of CASDA members, and spoken at various professional associations and research conferences on ways to bridge evidence, practice, and policy. Our successful work with Ready, Willing, and Able, in partnership with the Canadian Association for Community Living, was also recognized, resulting in additional funding for this groundbreaking approach to supporting employers successfully hire autistic employees. Prior to becoming chair of CASDA, I had been part of CASDA for a number of years and was well aware of just how much effort the CASDA board members put into ensuring the success of CASDA in meeting its goals, building partnerships, strengthening the public understanding of autism and the need for a national autism strategy. But I must say, I was not expecting the high-speed ride that this year has provided. Our board members pulled out all stops to make sure this most recent election included a broad identification of autism as a national priority. Getting the NAS into the government work plan and a public commitment to working towards implementation was both exhausting and exhilarating. I wish to thank all members of the board and all members of CASDA for their tenacity and vision. This has truly been a team effort. With that, I'd like to recognize and thank board members who will be leaving this year. Leslie Peters from Yukon, for her hard work and commitment to CASDA, her sensitivity to provincial and territorial representation, and her much needed perspective on Northern issues. Although Leslie has completed her term of service to the board, we expect and hope that she will continue to be part of CASDA and wish her well as she takes on other adventures and responsibilities. Amy Lonsberry from Alberta has provided very much needed support around our governance infrastructure, ensuring our governance documents are in tip-top shape. Amy and I worked very closely on the early versions of the Leadership Summit, and again, Amy's real strength in organization and planning have been a significant key success factor in its ongoing success. While looking forward to new adventures for her volunteer time, Amy has also committed to continue supporting CASDA as needed. And last, but most assuredly not least, I wish to thank Dave Mikkelsen, a founding member of CASDA who is stepping down from the board. Dave's deep commitment to CASDA has been pivotal in the history of success that we have achieved. Having his depth of experience, political acumen, and dogged determination to see a national autism strategy really happen has been critical to the development and success of CASDA. Many heartfelt thanks for all you have given to CASDA over the past 12+ years, and best wishes to you in your new career as a retiree and budding artist painter. Thank you.
Thank you.
And before I start to cry, I wish to put forward a motion to end this year's AGM. Thank you, Leslie. And all the very best to Leslie and Amy and Dave. Thank you.